Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Honorable Lego Idagbo. I represent the good people of Bekwara, Obudu, and Obanliko Federal Constituency in Cross River State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the motion on the need to appraise Nigeria's legal framework against illicit financial flows. Mr. Speaker, the House is aware that the Nigerian economy and its socio-economic development have deeply suffered from the unabated cross-border financial draining of our nation's revenue by illicit financial flows. IFFs are widely understood as the cross-border transfer of capital that are illegally earned, transferred, or utilized. IFFs often consist of commercial money laundering, tax evasion, and proceeds of corruption and criminal activities. The House is alarmed that according to a 2014 Global Financial Integrity Report, Nigeria lost a minimum of 140 billion to illicit financial flows between 2000 and 2014, mainly to crude oil and
Now, at that point, my attention has been brought. You are not reading from the order paper. Yes, what they are supposed to do at this point is read from the order paper.
Mr. Speaker, it's the same thing, it's just that this is bolder on my eyesight. Mr. Speaker, it's the same content, but this is bolder.
If the same content, of course, issue will not have been raised by members. That is the practice and the standard.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I stand corrected. I'll take it again. Mr. Speaker, the House is disturbed.
That is the same.
Mr. Speaker, the House is disturbed that a report of the Global Financial Integrity 2014 showed that Nigeria lost a minimum of 140 billion to illicit financial flows between 2000 and 2014, mainly to crude oil and commercial activities, mispricing. Thus, Nigeria was ranked among the global top 30 countries having illicit financial outflows by dollar value. And in 2015, a total of 8.3 billion was involved in the illicit financial outflows. The House is also disturbed that the Tax Justice Network and the International Monetary Fund (IMF) estimated that developing countries, including Nigeria, lose over 200 billion per year to illicit financial flows as multinational corporations neglect, fail, or refuse to pay taxes despite generating substantial profits. The House is concerned that the illicit financial drain on the country's economy by illicit financial outflows continues to have negative implications for domestic resource mobilization and long-term economic growth and development, as approximately 5% of the IFFs from Africa can be attributed to corruption, whilst the remaining 95% comes from commercial and criminal activities. The House is also concerned about statistics that show that the amount of revenues lost annually is more than the sums provided as developmental aids. The House observes that the net official developmental aids received by Nigeria in 2017 was about 3 billion US dollars. And the United States Agency for Interdevelopmental USAID has donated about 526 million US dollars in humanitarian assistance to Nigeria and the Lake Chad Basin since 2017. Yet neither of the aforementioned figures matches the estimated 15 and 18 billion Nigeria loses to IFF annually. Hence, Nigeria continues to struggle with growing inequality, poor infrastructure, and lacking service delivery. The House also observes that despite having at least 12 institutions and agencies responsible for tackling IFF and related crimes, Nigeria continues to be menaced by weak regulatory structures and complicity of other financial secrecy, amongst others. The House further observes that global awareness has prompted government to develop measures and policies such as Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development and a common reporting standard aimed at eradicating the perpetuation of IFF and assist tax authorities track offshore holdings of taxpayers. The House is worried that an estimated 60% of IFF from Nigeria is predominantly committed to multinational corporations which continue to drive the cross-border siphoning of the country's revenue to the direct and or indirect benefits of foreign countries. The House is also worried that international information sharing and domestication of relevant policies have become a global priority to ensure cross-border cooperation to tackle the global threat to national revenue generation and its negative economic and developmental impacts. The House is aware that to ensure the domestication and implementation of the international legal framework, the Federal Inland Revenue Service published the Income Tax Regulations 2019, through which Nigeria aims to commence the implementation of a standardized automatic exchange of information to curb future revenue losses due to tax evasion. The House is also aware that Nigeria is taking steps to curtail IFF, especially from tax evasions. Billions of dollars have already been lost to IFF, as 2014 Financial Stability Report from Central Bank of Nigeria estimated that 35% of illicit financial flows out of Nigeria could be attributed to oil bunkering. The House is further aware that the oil sector accounted for 95% of Nigeria's foreign exchange earnings and 80% of Nigerians' total budgetary revenue. It has become imperative to recover those funds to increase short-term national revenues, particularly to alleviate the pressures of the current
Honorable, can you go to the prayers?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The House resolves to mandate the Committee on Finance, Anti-Corruption, Financial Crimes, Banking and Currency, and Insurance, and actual matters to investigate the phenomenon of illicit financial flows and appraise the federal government's current policy framework to curb the continuous loss of Nigeria revenues to illicit financial flows. Further urge the federal government to collaborate with state governments to restore and revalidate, Mr. Speaker, to also mandate committees on finance, national planning and economic development, anti-corruption, financial crimes, banking and currency, and insurance and actuarial matters to appraise the Federal Inland Revenue Service current framework for identifying, tracing, preventing, sanctioning cross-border tax evasion and other illicit financial outflows. Finally, to invite the Minister of Finance, heads of Federal Inland Revenue Service, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Central Bank of Nigeria, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission, the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, the Nigerian Export-Import Bank, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC), and other relevant institutions to address the committees on the continuous loss of government revenues to illicit financial flows and present reports on measures to curb revenue losses, particularly the coordinated implementation